So in the context of quite a few of my videos, I should probably address mad cow disease and any concerns people would have about eating brain tissue. So for those of you unfamiliar with mad cow disease, it's the Prion disease. It's called Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, something like that. And it's a neurodegenerative disease where there's no cure, and it really is a terrible way to die. But I'm going to address concerns in regards to that, its occurrence in animals, and just kind of throw some information out there that you guys can do further research on, although this is one of those things where there's not much more research to do because it's basically a loose summary and understanding. So there's an outbreak of mad cow disease in the UK. I don't remember the specific year, but I think it was like 15-20 years ago, maybe a bit sooner than that. And that was because they were feeding cow parts to the cows, and the cows developed the prion disease, and then that prion disease was in not only the brain tissue of the cow, but it was in every tissue in the cow. More concentrated in the brain and spinal cord and organ meats, but it's still in the muscle meat. So those people that got mad cow disease and died in the UK might have gotten it from a ribeye steak, although if they ate brain tissue, like that's, I'm assuming, a much higher chance to get it, like exponentially much higher chance to get it. But when an animal has mad cow disease, or any derivatives of those diseases, they're called different things in other animals. It's in all tissues of the body. It's not just in the brain tissue. So how does an animal, so in regards to how a human would get this disease, would either be from the mad cow infected tissue or from eating human brain tissue, being exposed to human brain tissue in some way. Now, scrappy, which is the form of mad cow in goats, or Creutzfeldt-Jakob in goats, and there's another form in pigs, and those actually can't be transmitted to humans. I'm not sure if the version in mad cow disease is, the version in cows is a mutation of the disease, or something like that, but you can't actually catch it from goat, anything besides cows. To my understanding and my research, you're not able to catch the disease. So there's something modern that man intervented and made this disease an occurrence, because it doesn't seem like other forms of this disease exist outside of human cannibalism. In the context of human cannibalism, you can catch this disease, but that's not an issue for, well, I guess about 99.99999% of the world, at least in this present day and age. And who knows even if the modern form of, since we can get this disease from eating human brain tissue, if this is something that occurred during modern, antibiotics and bacteria and infections, or if this is, if this disease even existed hundreds of thousands of years ago. But I don't really know. So basically, loosely, you can't catch it unless you're eating infected cow tissue. And if you're eating any beef at all, it can be in the tissue. So it's not like just by avoiding brain tissue, just cow brains, you're avoiding the disease in general. What else did I want to touch on? So in regards to cases of mad cow disease in the United States, there haven't actually been any from American cattle. There were like a handful of cases in the United States of mad cow disease, but those diseases were from consuming beef in other countries. Then they came to the United States, and then either their medical treatment or they died here. I don't know what it was, but all of those cases of mad cow disease in the United States were from people who consumed beef previously from traveling somewhere in Europe or the Middle East, I believe. So in regards to I couldn't find a case of mad cow disease from American cattle, and because to my understanding that problem was only in the UK. Although, and as I said before, and I will say it for like the fourth fucking time, if a cow has mad cow disease, it's in all tissues of the body. So when cows have symptoms of this disease, farmers screen them and they test the brain tissue. Not every cow is tested for this disease, obviously, because it's not possible. You'd have to send in a sample of brain tissue from every cow, but it's very, to my understanding, it's very apparent and obvious, and of course they screen for all these types of things when they're slaughtering cattle. So hopefully that addresses some of your concerns about brain tissue. And just another anecdotal thing, pig brains, especially pig brains, are consumed so much in Asian cultures. If it was possible to to get this disease from brain tissue outside of cows, because beef isn't as plentiful in a lot of those countries, it would be happening much more frequently. People would be dropping dead left and right, all throughout Vietnam and Thailand and all of those cultures that have, you know, huge like nightlife vendor with tons of animal products and things like that. So hopefully this is something I can, you know, although I've gotten this question a few times, it's not something that comes up frequently in general, but it comes up every time I talk about eating brains, or a lot of times eating organ meats.